Hi, and welcome to Mad Dodge Productions. I am the Mad Libertarian. I'm here today with the Piper Report. His channel link is in the description, and Wolfshot. Maybe we might be joined by 40 ounce here in a little bit. Uh, Piper Report. Do you want to tell us about your channel and why you started YouTube?
Yeah, actually, today is my 1 year anniversary since I started YouTube. And I started a year ago. I was watching a lot of Styx Hexenhammer videos, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to try doing that. And so far, I mean, I got over 505 subs and over 107,000 views. So I beat my goal by double it. So I'm kind of happy. And I do love what I'm doing here. And hopefully, I guess I continue to get more subs and continue to grow.
Wolfshot, you want to give your channel intro as usual?
Hey, I'm Wolfshot. I'm here to fuck shit up. My Twitter is @FangsTheFlesh, and my YouTube is Wolfshot.
I guess
Right,
actually, I guess I should actually say what my channel's about. I do politics videos primarily and news videos for most people who didn't get that.
All right, so the only real topic I have is YouTube's new rules that they're going to be implementing in the next couple of weeks. First, they'll be implemented on the PC version, which is what I run my channel with, is a PC. And then a couple weeks after that, they'll be doing it on the mobile. And what they're doing is, even if you don't violate the terms and services of YouTube, they will demonetize your content if they find it offensive, or if the computer algorithm finds it offensive. And they'll just put you in YouTube purgatory, where nobody can comment, like, nobody can even find your video unless they know your exact channel. We can go down the line. Wolf, how do you feel about that? And I know it's a private company. Yell that at me again, you can, but go ahead, Wolf.
Well, I mean, I don't like it either. I mean, it's bullshit, but like I said, it is a private company. They dictate what's on their platform, etc. I mean, I wish it wasn't like that. I mean, but I just woke up, so I mean, I work at night, so bear with me.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. But what's bothering me is you're not violating the terms and services of YouTube, so you've done nothing wrong. Just some bot doesn't like a keyword in your live stream or in your video, and then they just take it away.
Yeah,
so,
man.
I mean, if you're not violating the rules, then how can they do that, even as a private company?
They can dictate what speech they want on their platform. I mean, it'd be like I work for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and they don't want me to say certain things about the corporation. Even though it's not in a contract or something, it's already known that you represent this corporation.
You know, that's kind of to how it should be in a free society. I did a video once in the past, kind of, if we were actually in a true free society, if someone is a private business owner, they should have the right to do whatever they want to whomever they want. If they want to ban people from entering, they can, because there is really no discrimination in a free society. That is your right, your private property, do with it as you please. But in terms of being discrimination for like public buildings, like schools and stuff, I can see the government stepping in, but we are actually not in a completely free society. So there is, discrimination laws and things of that nature. But in terms of this with YouTube here, what kind of makes me mad is this is already happening. Like YouTubers like Steven Crowder are being demonetized, and other YouTube groups like the Young Turks are allowed to monetize their videos, and they say F-bombs, and Steven Crowder never does. Seems like they are targeting the right. I understand from a private enterprise standpoint that is their right, but at the same time, it does kind of get frustrating.
Hey, 40, turn up your mic a little bit. I couldn't hear you, buddy.
Oh, sorry. You guys said we were starting at 2 p.m., correct?
Yeah, 2 my time. It just hit 2 o'clock. We started a couple minutes early, that's all.
Oh, okay. God, sorry. I literally just got home and got into the shower. I shat my pants when I Sorry, I didn't. Okay. But
do you want to do your channel intro real quick, 40, since you just jumped in, and then we'll go back to the YouTube censorship.
Yeah. You can find me at try typing in 40 ounce. If I'm not taken down already, I suppose. But yeah, as far as YouTube censorship, I've been trying to plug this little tidbit of information as often as humanly possible. If you want to see something extremely interesting, go to your little search bar really quick and type in CNN interview with YouTube CEO. And you're going to discover a lady named Susan Wachicki or something like that. I don't know. Susan Worcestershire, let's call it, because I can't say her last name. And she apparently lives in a part of Silicon Valley where Nazi banners are flying in the wind, and people are goose-stepping down the streets and beating women when they come home from drunken brawls at the bar or something. It's like she lives in the 1930s or something. It's ridiculous. Sorry, but no, this YouTube. It's just YouTube has become an extension of her political will, essentially.
Well, until their profits are going to fall. If they keep disrespecting and disregarding the content creators, we'll leave. We'll go to VidMe, or we'll create a new platform. And their profit margin, which is non-existent as it is going to go down even more. I think they'll be replacing her within a year. Mark my words. I said a year first.
The problem with this, though, is that other companies are going to follow suit. Even VidMe or VO or Vid2 or ULive, they're going to probably follow suit with what YouTube's doing.
Yeah, VidMe actually, VidMe tries to keep political videos off of their trending page, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never really a fan of VidMe, but I mean, to that respect, if a lot of companies do follow suit and copy YouTube, I think there will be a social media platform that does arise from a lot of pissed off people. And I think if people can actually congregate, flock there, I think it actually will work out in the end. But yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forgot your name. Wolfshot. I do think you're going to see a lot of other companies do this as well, since YouTube is leading the way. I was talking to Mad Dodge before the stream here. The New York Times just did an article basically calling out right-wing YouTubers and saying how they comprise YouTube and are basically taking over YouTube. So it's going to be getting some more support that way for people to start denigrating and looking down at YouTube as a right-wing social platform. It's going to incentivize more people and YouTube itself to be harsher on YouTube commentators.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. What we need is somebody who could build us a platform for just the shitlords and the commentators and the news outlets, the alt media. We could all just move platforms over there.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't want an echo chamber. That's the other thing to avoid.
That's true, but we're the ones being targeted by the rules, like what was just said about the Young Turks. They're just as bad.
No. Trust me, a couple friends of mine are they do dip tobacco reviews and guns and hunting videos, shit like that, and they get demonetized every day. And where YouTube used to be where they got their income, now they're like, well, this is a lot of fun. Some of them have even stopped, and that pisses me off, but it's very frustrating.
Yeah, well, as a channel that just started last December, I'm just building my channel, and now they're bringing all these rules in, and it seems like the deck's stacked against me.
Yeah, it seems like it's unfortunate, but I think YouTube is going to go back to early. I think, gosh, I'm trying to remember when it was. Was early 2010 or something like that, when YouTube was essentially just a fucking flag fest.
Yeah, no, and people were flagging people for no damn reason. I got a 12-hour thing on Twitter last night for arguing with some guy for 10 minutes. So if they're doing that on Twitter, and then we're going to implement shadow banning on YouTube, then it's going to happen even more on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's also sad about that too is that YouTube is teaming up with the Anti-Defamation League, and in their mind, Pepe the Frog is just as racist as someone in the KKK chanting "Let's kill all blacks." I mean, they don't see a difference between the two.
It could be worse. It could have been the Southern Poverty Law Center.
It still blows.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that, to be quite honest, I'm actually very surprised that this hasn't happened sooner. I've done research on this Susan lady. I've done research on the CEO of YouTube before, and she took up the kind of, when did she start? Oh, 2014 it was. So that's, that's in the midst of Gamergate. That's like when Gamergate started. I'm surprised she didn't jump on this bandwagon earlier, to be honest.
Well, to give YouTube credit, they've been dragging their heels with censorship. They don't. Somebody in YouTube in the upper levels doesn't want a censorship, but they're doing it anyway because of the ad revenue thing, the adpocalypse, whatever you want to call it.
Money. All about money.
I am kind of curious about something. Do you guys think that it's going to be based just like on the language you use, profanity, or basically on what you cover as a topic? Because me personally, I really never swear in my videos. When I first started, I was swearing all the time, but I don't know if they're going to flag me at all.
If you're a right-leaning anything, or if you have like a more conservative bent, they're gonna demonetize you.
Libertarian to kind of conservative area around there. I am fiscally conservative, socially moderate.
I am independent.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Piper. But I honestly don't see a political climate where anyone in this hangout right now is going to last more than a year.
Absolutely, and that's what I mean. Like, regardless of how much you say fuck or whatever, they're gonna get the algorithm or whatever fucking hoodoo they use, voodoo, whatever they use, and they're gonna find out. And like, let's say you watch Sargon of Akkad. If you don't, whatever. If you do, they can go down that list and on his watcher list and just go for it.
Yeah.
You know, like a free for all.
Yeah, or they have the related channels thing.
Yeah.
When I check my channel every day, I'm kind of anal about that. I check my sub count and my analytics. But when you go there on the side, you can have featured channels, which I have Wolfshot and Review the Earth and Libertarian, another Libertarian guy. You guys should check him out. I can't remember his.
The Libertarian Report? Is that him?
Something like that. But I only have 3 featured channels, but below that is related channels. And then Ogre pops up, Cognitive Thought pops up, the Rebel was up on there today. So they could go and they could just see, you're related to all these people, shadow ban all of you.
Yeah.
You're all in the freaking timeout corner.
Pretty much.
Timeout corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I have kids, and we have many timeout corners.
Oh gosh, and the unfortunate part about this is that, I'm trying to remember. I think it was PewDiePie that hinted at starting his own media platform.
Might be
and
cool.
Yeah, that would be gold. Not gonna lie, I would join that in a heartbeat.
I would go there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he should.
He certainly has
he's got
the money
for it,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But so what do you guys think of? How should I put this? Without trying to punch upwards too much and it being obvious. What do you guys think of the fact that none of the bigger YouTubers seem to really care that much?
Like Markiplier and shit?
Yeah. The only, who was it? The only big YouTuber I saw was Mark Dice.
Dave Colin, Computing Forever, he did a video about it I watched this morning.
Oh,
And
did
I
he?
would consider him big. Yeah, I would consider him big. He's got what, like 500,000 or something. He has the silver
yeah.
play button, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
Paul Joseph Watson too. He did a few videos on it, but for the most part, I think the big YouTubers, they have such a following already that people will follow them no matter where they go to. So they can pick any social media platform and continue on and continue on.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, watching all the big YouTubers convert over to VidMe for a while was a little comical to see. They literally brought 10, 15, 20,000 people with them.
I have a
This was
VidMe, but
crazy.
I've never uploaded on it yet. I'm not sure how
It's
well
a
it works.
clusterfuck.
So
Yeah,
To
I
be quite
stopped
honest,
uploading
I
like 6
apologize.
weeks ago.
Oh
I
yeah,
cuss like a sailor, so if I offend you, I'm not really sorry, but
no, I don't care.
sorry, not sorry.
yeah,
I'm a
sorry.
libertarian at heart. Like, you can do what you want, just don't step on my rights.
What were you gonna say, Piper?
Oh yeah, I tried VidMe. I wasn't really a fan of the structure at all of it. I didn't really get into it, but I might have to try it again now, make an account there.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I hate about VidMe is it's primarily due to the fact that they have no analytics system at all. That bugs the shit out of me.
So, how do they do their trending? Like, instead of being all political in your title, could you switch up the title a little bit and then still hit trending, even if it's a news story? Or do they like have a bot go through your actual video for the content?
I think they're having a bot go through your content. I believe I'm not entirely too sure on the subject, but the funny thing is that when YouTubers started to move over to VidMe, you saw, who was it? You saw Undoomed, Sargon of Akkad, Styx, Hex, and Hammer, a bunch of other people I really couldn't care less about. But you saw these people come over, and their videos were trending every single day, every hour of the day. And so it's not necessarily just a ploy to get other videos trending. They also want to just focus primarily on their gaming community, which is what it comprised of before all the politicons moved over.
Doesn't Twitch kind of have that corner of the market to themselves, though, when it comes to gaming content? I know YouTube has a lot of gamers, don't get me wrong, but isn't that pretty much what Twitch is only for?
Yeah, Twitch is primarily for gaming content, but VidMe is this half-assed. I'm trying to think of a good way to word it. It's a half-assed, put-together, kind of undiscovered niche of the internet that caters to small-time gamers who won't get popular on Twitch, I suppose.
I saw a tweet by the Hard Bastard, and he was saying that Gab might be doing something that allows you to now create videos and upload videos, kind of like YouTube and VidMe would let you. I don't know what's really going on with that or not.
Now, is VidMe monetized? They don't use AdSense, obviously, but what's their monetization like?
Crap. I can't remember. I know there is some form of monetization. I don't know what specific ads are playing on the videos, or if they're just the kind of classical 2010-esque YouTube ads where it's just a banner at the bottom of the screen. I'm not entirely sure what the ad stuff is. I have no desire to monetize my channel, to be honest.
Well, mine is monetized here on YouTube, so if I was going to switch platforms, I would want to monetize it over there. I'm not making any money, mind you. I mean, like literally nothing yet. You have to hit $200 before they'll even pay you. So I haven't got a single check from Google. But that being said, I am monetized. If I ever did blow up, I would get some money.
I think I made like $22 on AdSense so far. So slowly going up.
Nice.
Oh, dude, you've been on there longer. I'm up at like 33. How'd I beat you?
I just started monetizing lately. I was always against it. But here's Hard Bastard's tweet he wrote. He retweeted what Gab said. Gab said, Streaming of both audio and video is now live on Gab TV. Direct video uploading is up next, as well as tipping and subscriptions.
Interesting.
So that might be something to check out.
Yeah, definitely. I know that's one of the things that VidMe doesn't have live streaming, and Dailymotion doesn't have live streaming. They also have upload regulations as far as the size. I believe it has to be 2 gigs max. Can't film in 1080p, and it's got to be like 2 to 3 hours max or something like that. And you can't live stream, so it's a shit site, honestly.
Now, since you brought up live stream twice in that sentence, how do you think this shadow banning is going to work for streams like this? They can't really shadow ban this. It's not up yet, really. It's in the process of being made. So I would think that all the streamers, like the Warskis that do Warski Live, I don't think that stuff would be shadow banned until maybe after the stream is over and it's uploaded as,
So when's this starting, this shadow banning? Is it already starting, or are they going to incorporate it like soon?
They said within 2 to 3 weeks on PCs, and then on mobile devices a couple weeks after that.
Shit.
Should be curious. I'm kind of curious to see who's going to be targeted first and what the response to that's going to be.
Yeah. Well, there's already been.
How much you want to bet InfoWars gets shadow banned immediately?
Oh, yeah.
And the Young Turks, they stay up the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely on the shit list for sure.
I think Paul Joseph Watson will be, I mean, he is InfoWars, yeah, but I think he'll be first to go because he's been in a few news articles now where they try to attack apparently far-right, fringe-right, alt-right commentators. They always use him as the poster child.
Doesn't Chink, or whatever the fuck his name is, Sink, doesn't he deny the Armenian genocide?
Yeah.
Right?
Chink denies it, and Anna said her parents lived through it. So it's kind of a weird dynamic there.
Wouldn't that be supremacist speech? I mean, I think we should flag him.
You would think.
I actually did a video. I don't know if you guys watched or not. I uploaded a video last night about this, that Anna Kasparian at Politicon, she said the most racist thing ever. And it was just like, holy crap. Like, and people cheered her on. At Politicon, she said basically that illegal immigrants have the right to get a job from impoverished black communities because they are bilingual, and black citizens aren't bilingual. So for them to get their jobs back from illegal immigrants, they should pick themselves up by the bootstraps and learn a new language so they can get their jobs back.
Well,
like,
okay,
wow.
I agree with the bootstrap part. Like, let's not argue about reparations and shit. Let's do it ourselves. But yeah, to get their own jobs back in their own neighborhoods, that's pretty fun.
It contradicts everything the Young Turks are supposedly for. They preach they're for minority rights. They preach that they're for the little guy, and then they go out and they show their ignorance and arrogance that they only care about illegal immigrants over all American citizens. Doesn't matter what race.
I live in Oregon too. You know how many sanctuary cities we have? Eugene is a sanctuary city.
I bet.
And that's 75 miles from me. Because I live up in the Cascades in the middle of fucking nowhere. So everywhere is like 70 miles away.
That sounds nice.
Well, if Trump and Congress get their budget passed, I believe in the budget there's a stipulation that if the sanctuary cities don't follow the rules, they lose their funding. So hopefully it passes in September. And if it does happen, they have to really, abide by regulations or they lose their sanctuary city status.
Then all the sanctuary cities will start looking like Detroit.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, gosh.
Now that you brought up Detroit, I think that could be the next libertarian mecca. All right. So all these houses are for sale for like $400 or $500, right? And there's whole blocks of empty houses.
Really?
Why don't the Koch brothers just go in there, buy up fucking half the city, and set up their own fucking private police force and all this other shit, and just have Freetown is half of Detroit, and then the other half can be ran by their socialist bullshit. We'll see which half does better. Give it some time. We'll have to fix everything up, but yeah, give it like 3 years. come back and see which side is doing better. It could be a good social experiment.
I have thought about doing that. You can go to Alaska and no property tax in Alaska. Go up there, buy a nice piece of property. You can build houses on it, and there's also no zoning laws, so you can quite literally build a shit shack. Just live up there in your little ANCAP society or something. I don't know. Whoever wants to do it.
Oh, that's the only place where you're allowed to homestead still. So I was trying to talk the wife into moving up there to homestead. But you can only homestead in the far north, and you have to have all your supplies flown in and shit. That doesn't sound very cheap.
What's homestead?
Like back in the day, if you went into an empty, like I live in the Cascades, like I said, so they have all this federal land. So in the old days, if I went and claimed an acre of land and I built a house and I started working the land, after about 3 or 4 years, it's legally mine. I don't have to pay for it. I just have to build it and work it continuously for that amount of time.
Well, in my state, and this could actually be on a national level, if you actually like build like a cabin or a shack, and if you put it like 2 feet off the ground, there's no property tax on it because it's a movable vehicle.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, there's some people I know, they have cabins. They got like 2 cinder blocks underneath them. So, and I mean, it's a house essentially, but if they really needed to, they could hook it up and drag it away, which would be a pain in the ass, but they could do it.
That's very interesting. There's so many strange laws in this country.
Right.
It just don't make any sense.
Well, and you had brought up zoning laws. So in Eugene, there's the Whitaker neighborhood. And they took all the zoning laws out of that one neighborhood so you could have chicken coops or do whatever. And now it's a really vibrant, eccentric part of town. They have a block party every year that draws in thousands of people from other cities and stuff. So, I mean, the zoning laws are pretty stupid. Really, if you took the zoning laws away, everything will be okay, people. You know?
So what, Mad Dodge, where you're from, is it primarily just Democrats everywhere, or is there a libertarian base?
I do sometimes try and work with the Libertarian Party of Oregon, but they're kind of fractured. There's 2 different camps of the Libertarian Party of Oregon, and they actually sued each other. So, yeah, it's pretty dysfunctional right now. And there is a ton of Democrats in Lane County, which is where Eugene and Springfield is, and then also up in the Portland metro area. But then you get out in the backwoods areas like where I am or Eastern Oregon, and it's all Republican pretty much. The only reason Oregon is a Democrat state is because they have Portland. You know, Portland is solid blue.
That's so crazy too. I mean, Reagan, he won, you know, his second term, he won every state but I think 1 of them. And his first term, he won every state but 2 of them, 2 or 3. And all those West Coast states, those were all for Republicans. Like, things really change.
It's incredible what happens when you don't have a wall.
You know, I'm a sub to a YouTuber, Tex, and on his channel, him and a YouTuber are talking about Texit, basically Texas succeeding. And that better not happen. If that can happen after California succeeds, then I'm fine with that. But before that, they better not do that.
Yeah. What I actually find extremely ironic about that, the Texit, or you know, whatever they want to call it, I suppose. Ironically, Texas, it would be almost impossible for them to separate themselves from the Union. I looked into this extensively because I have a friend from Texas, and he's always talking about that. Even though he's actually a native Australian, ironically, but Texas has the largest gold reserve. They hold the majority gold reserve in the United States, and they're also a home base to either a nuclear arms manufacturing or nuclear arms assembly plant, something like that. And that's not to mention the fact that we have just a plethora of military assets down in Texas as well. But ironically, California, there's not much out here that's actually worth keeping to begin with.
San Diego has that naval port, right?
There's one San Diego. I think there's one in, was it San Francisco or something like that? And then there's Beale Air Force Base in Northern California. The Beale Air Force Base houses a lot of let's say important stuff.
Well, no, and here in Oregon, if you're driving through Eastern Oregon, and I don't remember exactly where, but you look over and off the road is a government facility, and it is a stockpile of biological and chemical weapons, and it's literally 100 yards off the fucking highway. There's just a freaking fence and cameras up. Now, I'm sure if you cross that fence, somebody will show up immediately, but still.
What's actually funny?
You got mustard gas just right there.
You're talking about
you can almost spit at it.
The one on the Washington border, right? When you just cross the gorge.
It might be. I don't know. I know it's inside Oregon's state borders because they made a big hooey about it a few years back. They wanted to try and get rid of it, but
what's funny is that my dad actually worked there for a brief period of time. It's funny that you mentioned that.
Well, California too. I find it really interesting that California prides itself as being like the most progressive state in the union, and then this year their state assembly voted no on universal health care, and the reason why they did so is because their state couldn't afford it, and yet they wanted to initiate the same thing on a national level.
Yeah, that's so retarded.
Yeah.
But yeah, California can't leave the union. They already, we had a war over that. And if we allowed California to secede, then we would have to reverse the Supreme Court ruling after the 1865 or 1861 secession crisis.
If they did try though, I can't see Trump pulling Lincoln and getting them back, and I don't think anyone would actually want Trump to do that either. I think it'd be the complete opposite of what it was in 1860. Complete opposite.
In fact, we will give you money.
Right?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're legislators they nominate and appoint. I mean, Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris. I mean, these people, you listen to them, they are clueless. They really don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, and what's funny is that the politicians California produces, save the ones previous to Reagan or some other, I don't know. We'll throw Schwarzenegger in there because I like his accent. But most of the politicians we produce are total whack jobs, and they run their single issue candidates. Was it not Maxine Waters, but Barbara Boxer, I believe it was. I think they're all the same, but she runs staunchly on an anti-gun platform.
Dianne Feinstein, she does that.
Yeah, no substance to him at all.
Yeah. Well, I heard her, Dianne Feinstein, say once that if she could get the votes in Congress, she would take everyone's gun away.
Yeah, even if she could get the votes, I would love to see her go out into rural West Virginia
and try knock on guns.
Knock on some old person's door and be like, "Hey, give me all your guns." Yeah, that'll fly real well.
Yeah.
That 90-year-old grandma is just going to shoot you. What are they going to do? Lock her up for 10 days? She's already almost dead. Fuck it.
Yeah. The day that happens, the South will quite literally rise again. That would be a complete shit show.
During Andrew Jackson's presidency, he did something called a Trail of Tears, and the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional. And Jackson said, "All right, I try to go enforce it," and no one did, of course. I mean, it's kind of funny. He totally contradicted them. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are real unconstitutional, but try and force it, see what happens." And they just sat there; they didn't do anything.
Well, and that's the whole basis of nullification, right? The states are like, "Hey, you have this stupid law, federal government. Come into our state and try and enforce it." Matter of fact, we're going to outlaw you enforcing it. So you bring the DEA into the state of Oregon. They haven't done it, but they should. You bring the DEA in and start raiding all the dispensaries. We're going to arrest the DEA members. Like, that's how they should do it. Just like, screw you. Come in and enforce it if you can.
So what do you guys think of the war on drugs? Should we continue it? Are we winning it, losing it?
I think we all know what the answer is.
Oh, yeah. MC in the chat definitely knows my answer. We should legalize every drug. And, no, and it would be a lot safer. There wouldn't be so many ODs, and we treat it like a health problem, like it is.
Yeah, definitely. And that's not to mention the fact that it'd be just far cheaper to afford the treatment centers rather than the actual law enforcement that comes along with it. Because just honestly, let's be honest, some of these agents that they're bringing in from the DEA, they probably make far more than any nurse or any physician does, and it probably costs more to bring out their little federal squad than it does to actually sit someone down and put them through a therapy session or whatever it might be.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's pensions too. I mean, you got to pay them pensions as well.
Oh,
and that
God,
adds
yeah.
up, as we saw in Chicago.
Yeah.
Or Illinois. What's really interesting though with the drug war here is that Portugal, they decriminalized their drugs, and they actually saw overdoses go down, crime go down, obviously, and even diseases like AIDS and Hep C all decrease when they decriminalize drugs.
Yes. Yeah, that's a huge factor, actually, that people don't realize.
You know.
Yeah, the transmission of communicable diseases. That's a big one.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with this. I mean, for instance, right now to get high, people go buy heroin off on the street. They're buying a substance. They don't know how strong it is. They're probably reusing their needles. If it was legal, they could go to their pharmacy, get a safe type of it, alternative with clean needles and all this stuff. I mean, they can do it a lot safer. Yes, they're still doing drugs, but that is their choice, and they're doing it in a safe way, actually.
Yeah. So
I don't necessarily want to corner them off like they do in Europe, though. They have a whole section in Amsterdam, right, where all the druggies are. Like, you don't necessarily need to corner them all off like that, so they could all suffer together and never get over their addiction. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, yeah, there'd be treatment instead of like doing all this money on the DEA and stuff like that. Like kind of 40 ounce was saying, you could focus more on treatment. It's cheaper.
So here's the question. Hopefully one of us will get triggered. So we want the same things, but would you allow the federal government to regulate it, or would you want these industries to be privatized?
I'll take option 3. The states regulate it. We kick it back down with the 10th Amendment to the states.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that as well. The only thing I want the federal government to regulate is the banking system, the banking cartel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Fed.
I'm really anti-Federal Reserve. I could rant and rant about it forever. I won't, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, should we even dip our toes in that pool?
Yeah, I talk about it quite a bit on my channel, so.
Well, 3 words, end the Fed.
Yep. Well, on the plus side, there was a bill, I think not Tom Cotton, someone in the House, they got their bill passed from the House side to audit the Fed. It's going to the Senate, but it'll probably be sat down in the conference committee forever. Probably won't get voted on, but that's a good start. Audit the Fed to end the Fed.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that, honestly, not gonna lie, surprised it got that far.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it departed from just the realm of
Ron Paul and Rand Paul.
Yeah, I'm surprised the thought was even conceived of to be in the first place. So many people are just against auditing the Fed, and I mean, I can understand why. I mean, what would happen if we audited the Fed? I mean, our freaking economy would fall apart for a year or two.
I think that's just all fear tactics, though. For auditing the Fed, the only thing I think will show up is that they're monetizing foreign debt, and they're spending a lot of our taxpayer money on foreign programs. But if we actually audit the Fed, I mean, there's so much special interest and money into the Federal Reserve that they make everyone think if we get rid of the Fed, we're going to automatically go into economic collapse. And I don't believe that at all. I think if we can transfer that to the U.S. Treasury, we'll be fine. Yes, there is a lot more in-depth stuff to go about, but I don't think we'll be in economic ruin like they say we will.
Well, wasn't it once again Jackson who said he
Kill
would
the
kill the
bank.
bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did, and nothing that I think they went into a depression for like 2 years and then rebounded.
That's
It wasn't
because
that bad.
well, yeah, Jackson too. He kind of screwed it up. He basically appointed all his people in high cabinet. Then they printed out a bunch of fiat money for themselves, and he kind of abused it. But if he would have just kept doing, I guess after he ended the central bank, if he just kept everything kind of how it was, he would have been fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, even if the scare tactics are true about auditing and getting rid of the Fed, I would honestly be okay with it, just because, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid. A year or two of a little heartache, but it's, you're going to rebound. You're not going to have, like you said, the fucking fiat currency floating around. Be much better.
Well, I think for the
what would you base our currency on? Go back to gold or maybe an oil-based economy? Because we already are called the petrodollar. Why not just literally tie it to oil or tie it to gold or something?
Yeah.
Go on, Fortios.
Honestly, I would keep it tied to gold, strictly for just our own interests. China and Russia's gold reserves are growing at a very rapid rate. And I know we have massive gold reserves, but let's be honest, most of those gold reserves actually belong to Europe. They're locked up in Fort Knox, supposedly.
Yeah. I have kind of, for me, the gold standard is maybe, but what we could also do is still maintain fiat money, but just use it through our treasury. So like, for instance, what happens now with our budget? We borrow budget from other countries and from our citizens, blah, blah, blah. You guys all know that. But anyways, eventually we got to get money from the Federal Reserve. Well, for every dollar of bonds we sell them and they give us money for, they get to print an additional $9 out, in which they give to commercial banks to give out as loans. And then banks use fractional reserve lending, which is basically expands the money supply by making money out of debt. I guess where I'm going with this is that you end all of that, you are printing debt-free money. That means no interest money. So we could still use fiat currency, but we'll be able to pay off our national debt exponentially because there's no interest accumulated on it. We could use what we're doing now, just no Federal Reserve, pay our debt off right away, and then we could still use the benefits of fiat currency. It's kind of interesting. Most people don't realize this, that we actually get the better deal in trade deals. I mean, it's costing us a trade imbalance of like 50 trillion with Mexico. But since that's fiat money we're giving them, we actually aren't really losing anything.
Kind of genius, really.
Yeah.
It sounds like freaking counterfeit money, man. I say it is, so it is. Isn't that what fiat means? I hate that.
Yeah.
It's gotta be based on something. I'm okay to maybe not base it on gold, maybe a combination of silver, gold, oil, or GDP. Maybe just base it on our gross domestic.
Yeah, for the GDP you could, but if the problem with you like mixed intrinsic value items, they tried that early when America was founded, and it based because gold and silver are always fluctuating in their value, just really makes things really convoluted and kind of screws things up a lot.
So are you kind of a Hamiltonian? Blah, I couldn't spit that out. Sorry. Did you like Alexander Hamilton?
No, not
you
really.
Like his economic theory?
He started the central bank, so.
But that was his main argument, was we should do a fiat currency and have a national bank because of the fluctuations you were talking about.
Yeah.
That was kind of his argument in the Federalist Papers, which I can grab off my bookshelf, but we ain't got time for me to read out of the Federalist fucking papers.
See, I heard things with the gold standard, though, and maybe you guys could help me out with here, that it'd be too hard to use the gold standard in today's age. I forgot where I heard that from, but just based on the money supply now and how our money is so valued so little these days. I don't know, 40 ounce, do you know anything about that?
Well, as far as America switching to the gold reserve, we have been on the oil, we've been on the petrodollar for so long that we've neglected to expand our gold reserves. In fact, the only reason hypothetically speaking, if we were to switch back to a gold standard, the only reason we might be even somewhat treading water would be the fact that we practically have most European countries, we have their gold essentially, and we actually won't give it back to them. That's a funny little thing that people don't know. Well,
Yeah,
your
what country
person.
was it? What country was it that asked for their gold back? And we're like, yeah, we have to have 3 years to get it together for you. Was it Germany or France? I don't know. Somebody during World War II gave us their gold to hold on to, and we've been holding it ever since.
Was it Belgium or not Swiss? I don't. Oh, I actually can't remember. Oh fuck.
You know,
But you know
I
what I'm talking about, right? You've read that story before.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I think? I think with the gold standard, maybe this is where I heard it before, is that since the world's currency is all pretty much fiat now, there is no more gold standard. I think it could really screw things up on a global level with the IMF and the World Bank and stuff like that. If we switch to the gold standard, that could just be special interest groups and rhetoric, you know, trying to prevent that from happening. But I think that was one of the main issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just looking at the lifestyle and the economy of, you know, the good old days, if that's what you want to call it, back when we had a standard for money, back when, you know, people were working for hay pennies an hour or some, you know, wicked, obscene crap like that, right? I mean, it was life, just generally speaking, was far easier in terms of purchasing property. You actually had incentive to save money, unlike in today's economy. I don't have a savings account because there's no point in me saving money. My money doesn't accumulate in value. You know, it accumulates at like 0.012% or some weird benign crap like that. So honestly, I might as well just go out and buy a flat screen TV with each paycheck, and that would honestly be better than having whatever the hell we have now. I wouldn't be so opposed to a gold standard.
What's really scary too is that if you actually go to your bank, whatever bank you use, and ask them for their bylaws, most banks have changed their policies now to what's called a bail-in. So if the banks ever go under again, like they did in 2007, the government won't bail them out. The investors in the bank and those with savings accounts and whatnot would be the ones bailing out that bank.
Yeah.
That is just horrible. I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that makes you want to keep your money under your mattress.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any crazy news today.
Yeah, I was out of town most of the morning. I didn't even check any news today.
Yeah, I got a massive backlog of videos to watch. I know too many people.
Hard knock life.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
I watched some of your video you had with Redbeard and Libertarian Fascist, and I don't know. I was kind of curious on. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I heard the term Libertarian Fascist, and in my mind, I'm thinking, what the hell is that? I probably should watch the video. I didn't watch. I just read the name, and I'm kind of like, okay.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that how should I? Oh, okay. So here's the thing. The dude's, what did he say? The dude's still in high school. So politically speaking, he's still trying to find his way in the world. From what I can gather from our conversation, it seems as though he's just a libertarian that has identified certain problem groups in the United States, one of those being Muslims and the other ones just so happening to be Jews. Funny enough. But here's the thing. So okay, so here's the thing. He is very much a libertarian at heart. But the thing is that he has, it seems, and I don't mean this as any kind of personal offense, but he has an extraordinarily shallow understanding of what fascism actually is. I've read Nietzsche. I haven't read any Schopenhauer, unfortunately. That's probably something I should get around to. But you know, I've read some Nietzsche. I've read Mein Kampf, and I have a general understanding of what fascism is. But he has none of that. To him, fascism is not liking a certain group of people. So by the end of our conversation, I essentially concluded he's a libertarian that has bias, that has an in-group preference, and is somewhat of a civic nationalist, it seems.
All right, fair enough.
I think the reason he is not, the reason he doesn't understand fascism as in depth is because he's still in high school, so maybe he doesn't have time for independent research. But one of the things is that in school, being a fascist essentially nowadays means you just don't like someone. And so I think he's conflated actual fascism with the shallow fascism that the fascism that the three of us are, for instance, because we're not regressive leftists, you know.
Yeah.
Did you just call me a fascist? Is that what just happened?
Yes. wanting to give states power. How dare you?
No, I only jumped in for a little bit of that conversation. I was in the chat, and I saw the title, and I'm like, there's no such thing as a libertarian fascist.
I know. Yeah.
And the definition of fascism is when the state co-ops part of the actual economy, right? So, what the heck is his name in Italy? That's what he did. Is he merged? Yeah, Mussolini. He merged the state and the big corporations together, and that's what is fascism. And then you could be a dictator also on top of that. Two different things. The political theory of fascism is the merger of the state with the corporations.
You know, this is kind of off topic. Well, not really off topic, I guess, but I do kind of get annoyed, like when you hear people on the left, especially, they think like socialism is a type of government, or like, you know, communism. It's like, no, socialism is an economic principle. It's an economic modality.
Yeah.
For, you know, communism is a type of government. So, for instance, Hitler was a fascist who had a socialist economy. It wasn't like he was a socialist country or, you know, strictly fascist country. You have to have an economic principle also.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of off topic, but I read some comments. People are like saying it's a socialist government. It's like, no, there's no such thing.
Yeah. That's definitely one thing that I don't know. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because it's so funny that you mentioned that, because even a lot of older writers from the late 1800s, they talk of socialism as a form of government. That's so funny.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I think you're correct. I think you're correct in saying that socialism is a form of it's a type of economic model.
Yeah.
But
that's how I was taught in school, anyways. Unless things change nowadays.
Yeah.
But
well, no, and it's like people keep calling America a democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. There is a difference.
An indirect democracy modality we use.
And that's why we have, when they bitch and moan about the way we have our electoral system, we have that because we're a republic, not a direct democracy. And a direct democracy, as Benjamin Franklin said, is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. I mean, come on.
Well, that's the danger too with direct democracies, because I think Germany was direct democracy before the Nazis took over. I mean, you basically have majority rules, so essentially whoever gets in their vote, they can completely transform the government to what they want.
Yep. Yeah. Funny enough, that's one of the things that Hitler bags on. That's why he hates democracy. It's a majority rule system. If you're not a republic, that is.
But, you know, also, I guess with that, then, have we actually used our republic, though? I mean, yes, we have for, like, you know, the college and stuff like that, but have we actually seen our representatives do something that they were granted in their power because this is a republic? Like, for instance, example would have been if they made Hillary the president after Trump won. You know, they could have used their power to do that. Have we seen anything happen in America like that?
Well, that's why our government's set up with the three different branches, so they can't overlap like that. And the voters, they vote the representatives who vote on the laws, but we also vote our commander in chief separately. So that would be my answer, I guess, if that is an answer. And that we can't see that unless there's a complete stalemate or a convention of the states, and then you can change something.
Yeah.
But
I guess there's impeachment too. I didn't think about. I mean, that's a republic thing they can do. I hope.
Yeah, no, and I heard a Democrat governor, I think of Wisconsin, switched to Republican today, like straight switched their parties midterm. Do you think they should be able to do that type of stuff? Because they were elected as a Democrat, right? And then, like, maybe I'd feel better if they switched to Libertarian. I'd be like, that's awesome. But you know, they didn't. They went from one dark side to
that is, I'm not gonna lie, that is so comical. That is hilarious. I think that's hilarious. But also, this is when my inner fasci comes out, and this is where 40 ounce, the benevolent dictator, wishes to seize control of the memes of production. Right. So I totally think that if you are going to just switch party alliances, you do that at the end of your term. That is terrible. And that needs to be some kind of, because I just feel that that's a total misrepresentation of your constituents. They voted for a person who was a Democrat, not a Republican. For, you know, as much as I don't like the Democrats right now, I don't think they should be disenfranchised.
Wait a minute though. Something just popped in my head. I have the answer to all Trump's problems. All right, here it is. It's really simple. He comes out on Twitter in like 10 minutes and goes, "Hey, I'm switching my party to Democrat." Suckers.
And just keeps on doing what he's doing.
Yeah, no, that has to be on his side, right? He's a Democrat now. All these people crying have to turn around and be Trump supporters. I mean, it would just turn the whole world upside down.
This reminds me of something I heard on a chat room once. Trump should totally go transgender. He would cause a shitstorm because people wouldn't know. You know, do they support him with it, or do they attack him? That'd be cool.
Oh gosh, no, because then he'd just be the world's first transgender Nazi.
I thought Hitler already had that. Wasn't that, you know, the little hand thing? It just, the hand fell at the end always, right? I think there's a movie that makes fun of Hitler where he's gay or something. That's where I got that from.
There was a show in the UK that never even made it past like the first 2-3 episodes of the first season. But what was it called? It was called like Heil, I'm Home. But it was a sitcom starring Ava Braun and Adolf Hitler. And dude, I wish they kept doing that. That would have been the perfect show, I think. That sounds hilarious.
No, and MC in the chat said that they voted for the person, not the party. I just responded in the chat, but I'll respond with words also. A lot of people in America vote straight party lines. They do. They don't even look at the name. They don't watch anything. They're like, I'm a Republican, I'm voting straight Republican, or vice versa. And it's only the people that are independents and third party people that really care about who the person is, because we are the ones that will switch. Like, a lot of libertarians voted Donald Trump. Not I, but a lot did. So we're the ones that actually care about the person. But a lot of Democrats and Republicans care about the party. That's it.
Gary Johnson, I thought was an embarrassment for the Libertarian Party. I couldn't vote for him. They should have did Austin Peterson. I think Johnson actually hurt the Libertarian Party. He did not help it at all. And he seemed to be he really was in Hillary's corner, him and Bill Weld. Like, they kept on defending her more than anyone.
Dude, they ran Austin Peterson out of the party. He's gone. He's a Republican now, running in Missouri. I am trying to get him on my channel, actually, to do an interview. I sent him a message on Twitter today because he had an ad out. And if you want to interview me, send me a message. And I wrote like a page-long thing about
how I'm a small YouTuber, but I get about 1,000 views a day, and I think I could really help and blah blah. So I'm trying to get up on my channel. It'll be pretty cool.
Dude,
But
if
probably
you
won't happen.
do, man,
awesome.
I'll definitely watch. I would love to just bandwagon and be like, hey, get me in too so I can meet him. But, you know, I'll at least watch.
I'm going to try. We'll see what happens.
That would be awesome.
I bring that up because a roaming millennial, she had Milo on the other day. It's like, how the hell did you get Milo on?
Oh, she did that
Really?
Richard Spencer interview that
Yeah, she had
blew up.
Spencer, Milo,
Yeah. Everybody
Stefan
got pissed at her,
Molyneux.
though.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Wow.
So since you brought up Molyneux, what do you think took him down the rabbit hole that Rage After Storm is down? Because it seems like that one video he did on race realism, quote unquote, was going down the same rabbit hole Rage went down, and that rabbit hole destroyed her. She's off of YouTube now. She's not on Twitter. She's done. And it hasn't hurt him quite as bad, but I don't know. I watched it. I still don't buy race realism. They're not going to sell me on it.
Yeah.
I am ignorant of what happened here. I don't know anything about Rage or what his video was about. Can you tell me?
It was a she, and she was talking about IQ amongst the different races. And all her sources were like the Daily Stormer and shit like that. The Bell Curve was one of them, which is, I guess, a factual book. I mean, the scientists fucking read it and shit. But
all right.
she also went on. She went with she paired the Bell Curve up with the fucking Daily Stormer, though, a neo-Nazi site that I've never even been on. You know, like, how are you going to pair these up and then say your big old spiel about IQ and say that you're being, I don't know, not biased? Like, you're being biased if you're quoting the Daily Stormer, all right?
Yeah.
So she was shut down, and Molyneux now, like, you guys are wondering what's going to happen to him, or?
He went down kind of the same. He started talking about race, IQ amongst the races also, and he had a lot of the same talking points she did, but he didn't quote the Daily Stormer. He's smarter than that.
Yeah, I was about to say he's way smarter than that.
And you're chomping at the bit, 40. Go ahead.
He's actually so funny enough. Stefan Molyneux was kind of like one of the very first, like, I suppose, was one of the very first, like, red pill channels I watched, right? And I watched him every single day, like 3 or 4 videos a day for like 3 to 4 months solid. Like, that's how much content he has. It's incredible, really. But I watched his entire playlist at the time he had about race realism. So this isn't the first video he's done about it. And I'm actually very surprised that he hasn't been taken down beforehand. And what's funny enough is that as much as I have grown to actually kind of detest Stefan Molyneux for, I think, being a kind of inadvertent dick, he is actually extremely intelligent. And I think one of the reasons he hasn't been gotten taken down or he hasn't garnered any criticism is because when people watch his videos, he is extraordinarily intimidating. Just with the facts he brings to the table, with just his vocabulary. He has an incredible vocabulary. But there's no way, even if he were to be censored, he actually has quite a radical audience, I would say, and they would follow him anywhere.
Yeah.
And he has a master's degree in philosophy or something, right? Like, he's not a dumb man.
Yeah, he's not just some dude like I am. You know, he's gone to school.
Yeah, I watched his debate with Peter Joseph from the Zeitgeist movement, and I have to say, Peter Joseph, that man is very articulate. He has a hell of a vocabulary. Like, he made Stefan's vocabulary look like nothing, basically. You guys ever seen that?
Yes, I have, actually.
That was...
Yeah, I didn't watch that debate, but I'll correct myself. Crown T contacted her employer and stuff like that, and that's how she got her YouTube channel taken down. Rage After Storm.
Yeah, I actually can't stand that guy anymore, unfortunately.
Stefan?
Well, no, I don't like Stefan that much anymore, but no, Crown T I actually don't like anymore either. I don't like many people in the quote-unquote skeptic community anymore, to be honest.
I heard people were trying to explain like how Stefan basically debated, and if you actually listen to him, his primarily argument is debunking somebody else's argument. I don't know if you notice that. He does bring facts sometimes for himself, but for the most part, he'll debunk and dissect what his opponent says, and kind of continue on that trajectory through the whole debate.
Yeah, actually, funny. That's actually one of the things I noticed as well. All he does is, and don't get me wrong, the man is a fucking brain surgeon when it comes to just dissecting his opponent's arguments. But I've noticed that whenever he is wrong, he will always dissect the opponent's arguments, but never reinforce his own.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's still an admirable skill, but...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't see that debate, but did you guys watch, it was Adam Kokesh and Christopher Cantwell did a debate about the future of the Libertarian Party, pretty much, and Cantwell has gone full fucking Daily Stormer, and Kokesh is like full ANCAP. So it was a really interesting debate. If you haven't seen it, you should look it up.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, good. And there's Christopher just arguing fucking racist shit, and Kokesh just laughing at him and being like, "Why don't we just take out the government and then you can do whatever you want on your own fucking property?" It was great.
Have you guys seen the Cenk Uygur and
Ben Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro.
I did watch that. I did watch that whole
good.
thing.
I finally got around to watching that yesterday. I had to bump it up my list after I saw your tweets, Piper. I had to. I was like, oh, dude, sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty much ownage. It was pretty bad for Cenk. Wow.
Oh, it's so funny. Usually when Cenk has like a debate with someone more intelligent than him, he just like fucking shit talks the entire time. But dude, Shapiro ripped him a new one.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I did a brief analysis of the debate, and what I noticed was Cenk is considered a good debater. I don't think he is, but he is considered a good debater because he always has the audience on his side. Like last year at Politicon, he debated against Dinesh D'Souza. He used the audience for his support. Or if he's on the Young Turks, he's more comfortable there. But on this debate, he seemed intimidated to try to play the crowd against Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro just had just as many people in the crowd. So what Cenk tried doing, he tried actually trying to make his facts and his arguments sound, but Ben kept on dissecting, debunking it, and at the end, Cenk was just trying to run away from Ben at every angle he could.
Yeah,
and you could almost tell every time Ben hit a good point because Cenk would just fucking laugh and just like nod his head
and change subjects. That's all he did. He would keep changing subjects. He would say something, Ben would debunk it, and then instead of trying to debunk Ben's debunk, he would continue on a new trajectory and a new topic and stuff like that.
And I have to say, there's one point that, and the entire thing, goddamn hilarious. I would pay money to see that again. Not gonna lie, I would pay money. But dude, what pissed me off so much was that Cenk had the goal to actually insult the fucking audience. That pissed me off so much. Do you remember that part?
Google it when he said that like 10 times. Oh yeah, no, I remember. He called them like they're not educated or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that made me so mad. I hated that.
Oh, and isn't that the first thing you're taught in high school? At least I was you can't trust everything you read on the internet. So him just going like, Google it. It's like, shut the fuck up.
What's great about that too? I saw a perfect video by Matt Christensen. I don't know if you guys know him. He has like 60,000 subs, and he did a video where he actually Googled all the things that Cenk said to Google, and for the most part, most of them were lies. He wasn't even right about it. So, like, wow, Cenk.
Just use Bing. Just use Bing now. Huh?
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I mean, the whole point of debate is to represent your argument so people in the audience can understand it. But instead, he's like, Google it. Just Google it.
Yeah, no, and I like to debate. Like, I like debating with other YouTubers and stuff. But do I think I'd sign up to debate Ben Shapiro?
Oh, no.
No, probably not.
Ben doesn't lose, dude. bend does not lose. You know, and the thing is, too, I don't agree with everything he says, but when he debates, you can always understand where he's coming from. You can understand his point of view and how he reinforces his argument. It's truly brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have all those facts just right there. Because I think it was a blind debate, right? They didn't know the topics coming in. Yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
he had all that just right there at the top of his brain. Fucking brilliant, man. Like,
Wow.
goddamn.
Yeah, well, I know when he was
notes down or some shit.
Yeah, he graduated high school at 16. He got his law degree at Harvard like at 22, I think.
Oh dear God, that's like my uncle.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the man is brilliant.
Yeah,
All
one
right,
of those
so,
just natural born geniuses. That's awesome.
So, do we have any more
go on.
topics? Do we have any more topics you guys want to hit? Like, we're just bouncing stuff around right now. I'm enjoying the talk with you, Piper. If you have more time, we can keep going.
Yeah, I could probably do another 15 minutes if you guys want. I gotta go after that though.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
man,
not doing anything.
Anything you want to bring up, dude? Like, not what you did your next video on, because you just made it. We'll wait for that. But yeah, anything at the top of your mind you want to bitch about?
What's CNN up to lately? I haven't really looked into them.
I don't think anybody has, right?
I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say their ratings are dropping. I'm probably correct. Oh, gosh.
No, other than that, I don't know. Don't really have anything. You guys got anything?
You know what's so hilarious? I literally had a page of like 6 or 7 things, and I totally lost it. This is what happens. See, this is why you never click the big red X in the corner. What was it? There was a town in the UK that I cannot remember the name of, and actually got hijacked by a hacker. Funny enough, posting very spicy memes and warning that it was a Sharia law zone, so no alcohol, no gambling, etc. So things are definitely starting to escalate in the UK, for sure.
Go figure.
Well, no, and I've been talking a lot with Cabbage. I don't know if you know who he is, but he lives over in the UK, and they're getting sick of it. They're tired of these areas of town where you can hardly go to anymore. You know, he's tired of all the freaking PC bullshit. Like, he bitches about it like every time I talk to him. So they're getting sick of it over there.
Well, it's funny that you just mentioned that. The British Army is having a diversity and inclusion conference that takes place tomorrow, exploring how unconscious bias and micro inequalities can be addressed at grassroots. Oh, lovely.
Wait, the military is going to sit through this fucking lecture? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
they're at the pub right now bitching about it, I bet you.
Oh, I'm sure.
I do have a question for you, Mad Dodge. Based because you're a libertarian, what do you think on Trump's transgender ban for the military?
Oh man.
Oh,
so I tiptoed around this subject when it first blew up because I really didn't want to fucking deal with it. But I'll say now what I said then. As the commander-in-chief, he has the right to dictate to the military, in my opinion. If he feels that is the best and his generals agree, then so be it. Just like Bill Clinton and Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Now, if he's just doing it to cause a distraction from something else, you know, like get rid of the mooch or anything else that's going on in his White House, then, you know, maybe he shouldn't throw these people under the bus over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really, it's what? Okay. The transgender community in the United States is 0.03% of the population. Now, out of 0.03, how many of that want to join the military? 0.01 of the 0.03? We're talking about fucking 20 people. Like, really? How is this a big deal?
Yeah, I think I heard on, maybe it was Buck Sexton's radio show, there's about 7,000 transgenders in the military as of right now. So there's about 700,000 total population in the U.S. and about 7,000.
Okay, so it's a wee bit more than 20.
You know, I don't know. I've heard a lot of different opinions on this. On my personal opinion, I do kind of agree with what you said, Mad Dodge, that if the generals and like, you know, the military advisors and leaders suggest Trump does that, that Trump should listen to them. Me on a personal level, though, I don't care if they serve as long as the government doesn't have to pay for their sex reassignment surgery or their hormone treatment or any of that stuff. If you want to serve, you know, you can, but you have to meet the physical requirements. So women should not be allowed to join special forces unless they can actually pass the physical barriers and that men can. Likewise, transgender people.
And they've lowered the standards, haven't they?
Yeah,
After
they shouldn't.
integrated women.
Yeah, they should keep them the same. I mean, you know, it's not, that's sexism. You're putting your life in danger and the life of your friends and other soldiers in danger. You cannot lower standards just to be politically correct.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And once again, we have the separate branches, and in the branches is the executive, the president, and he is the commander in chief of the military. He gets to make this decision. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
The voters don't get to do it. Now, the Supreme Court might be able to overturn it, but good luck.
Yeah, I would still agree with you.
Do you think the wall is actually going to go up? Not to cut you off, 40, but
No, it's okay.
like, do you think he's actually going to get the wall built? I don't think so.
You know, I mean, they did reallocate 1.6 billion for it for the September budget plan. Whether that actually gets passed is open for speculation. But if it does, I don't think it's going to be a wall. If they do build it, it's going to be just like a fence. They're going to expand the fence that they already have.
That's what I'm thinking. Add some cameras and more border patrol. I think that's what they'll use the money for, myself.
Yeah, you know, people have this grand fantasy about that we'll get like that solar panel wall. That I actually remember reporting on that when that was first hitting Fox News. You know, people want that giant solar panel wall that's nice and flashy, has an odd design so people can't quite climb up with a ladder, and then it also has these super high-tech sensors that were literally just made like 3 or 4 months ago, and it's like a form of ground-penetrating radar. And you know, I have to say that's not what's going to happen at all. You guys are totally right. It's most likely going to be an extension of the fence, if anything. As much as I would like it to be as much as I would love to surround America in a 14th century siege castle wall, it's unfortunately not feasible.
You know, I saw a video by Thunderfoot, and he was talking about the solar panel wall. And if we do that, I mean, if you want to listen to him and trust his opinion, it will cost like 5 times more than it would if we just did a normal wall. The solar panel wall, the maintenance of it, I mean, everything.
Even if you went with a private contractor, oh dear God.
Yeah.
Well, no, and you know what? That thing's going to get vandalized all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to throw grappling hooks up over it and climb up, and they're going to smash your panels.
Yes.
The maintenance alone will be millions.
I do find it interesting how today's day and age, the wall is considered racist because you are promoting segregation. Yet in 2006, the Congress passed the border wall, and Hillary Clinton voted for it. Joe Biden voted for it. Obama voted for it. But now they are against it because it is racism.
Yeah, that was actually one of Bill Clinton's key talking points when he ran for president.
Yep, I remember that. I watched that, actually.
Yep. Yeah. So insane.
Everything nowadays is racist, though, right? I mean, everything. Just being white makes you a racist.
Yeah, it's true, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how we got to this point sometimes. It's ridiculous. Sorry, go on.
It seems to be winding down, so I was going to let you guys give your final thoughts and your channels and stuff. And then if you guys want to hang out after we go off air, I'm down. I have to go grab one of the babies out of the bedroom. They woke up, but yeah, go ahead and give your final thoughts.
Yeah, I'll probably have to take off here though. But I guess my channel is the Piper Report. I do political videos. I just uploaded one a little bit recently. I am fiscally conservative, socially moderate, so I tend to do media topics based on that. And yeah, I'm done.
Do you mind if I put you as one of the featured channels on my page?
No, go ahead. I plan on downloading this too and uploading on my channel as well. So.
All right, awesome. Go ahead, 40. Your turn.
All right, I am 40 ounce. You can try and find me before they censor us all. Good luck.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts. Jews did 9/11. That's about all.
All right. My channel's Mad Dodge Productions. I am the Mad Libertarian. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for watching.